2024 goes to the Bendigo Miners. Over Powerhouse.
Well, welcome back to Box Hill Rugby Club for the big dance. We're into game 2 of our live stream this afternoon. It is the Premiership Grand Final. I'm your commentator, Gerard McClanahan, joined by Namani Nadolo in the commentary box. And what a classic we have. 2 regional teams rounding out our contenders for the 2024 Premiership Grand Final. And Nems, we're going to start with the team from Geelong, the Rams, with an impressive lineup today.
Very much so, Jared. Thanks for having me today. In the front rows, we have Eroni Tuitupo, Jeff Ahoso, and Corey Ward. In the locks, Samuel Kennedy and Talai Lolu. In the flanks, we've got Jordan Ratara, Caleb Nichols, and Pascali Ulungia. Look out for that man in number 9, Asaya Vatuanga, and at 10 joining him, and 5'8" is Brody Hughes. In the centres, we've got Jared Mailai and Patrick Clark. And in the back 3, we've got Andrew Ratara, the fast Ratu Naimbuka, and fullback Ta'amai Proctor.
And of course, Geelong are coached by Richard Hoare. They finished the regular season equal first on the ladder with today's opponents, Shepparton Bulls, with an impressive lineup, starting with their front row of Peli Tisu and Tui Tufunga. Locks are Mekuli and Val Matahal, with a back row of Polo, Ponoia, and Avayanau. The halves are Wongareravaki and Herman Ulima, with the 2 wings, Sam Polo and Vitaya Natoga. A midfield packing plenty of punch with Maris Villiamu and Kitty Sero Isavao, and at the back, Stan Patea. Of course, they are coached by Salanga and Atu, and nothing could split these 2 sides this year, Nems. We've had both sides finishing on 66 competition points at the end of the season, and, well, interestingly, splitting their 2 matchups this year after facing each other in round 6 and round 16.
Yeah, very much close. There's nothing between these 2 teams. Before coming to the finals, they've won their semi-finals convincingly. Look, expect some fireworks. There's going to be a lot of razzle-dazzle. There's a few Fijians there that are definitely going to wow the crowd today.
Our woman in the middle this afternoon is Amber McLaughlin, who will be overseeing today's encounter. And you might notice a few of the black armbands that were being sported throughout some of the grades for referees today in honour of Jerry Collins, the Melbourne Unicorn stalwart, who had a bit to do as well with the refereeing fraternity, heavily involved with Masters refereeing and whatnot. We sadly lost him last week. So a very touching tribute from many of the referees around the grounds today, acknowledging his contribution to the great game of rugby here in Victoria. Grand final day, and a wickedly fast pitch awaits us. And when you look at this field, it's the talking point everyone mentions. It's that camber of the field. How does that change the way you play the game, Nems, when you've got a field which drops away so drastically? How does that influence game plans?
Well, it definitely influences the kicking game. If you've got a good 9 and 10 and you want to turn them, I think the best way to use this to your strength. A lot of people are complaining about it, but look, there's not much you can do about it. I think the best thing to do is use it to your advantage, particularly in that kicking game. And those 50-22s are going to come in handy today.
Absolutely. It's a prime day for 50-22s on a field like this. We've been blessed with one great game already, kick-starting things with Powerhouse getting up in the women's, upsetting as well, in fact. Endeavour Hills, who were going for a three-peat of Lindros Cup titles, and they were cruelly denied by Katie Bugden and her charges from Powerhouse. But for now, what a pleasure it is to have 2 of our country teams, or non-metropolitan teams I should say, from Geelong and Shepparton, getting us underway for the Premiership. It'll be Shepparton in the green and blue who were running left to right in the first half, and they're responsible for getting us underway. And Geelong in their black, white Hoops with red collar. They'll be running right to left in the first half. Perhaps a slight breeze at their back, Geelong, in the first half. We'll keep you updated on those conditions throughout the afternoon as Brodie Hall sends it out to the backs. Paddy Clark getting his first touch of the afternoon. And for now, Geelong happy to run it. And what a run this is. Ratawa almost getting the ball up to halfway as Vadawonga goes digging. Solid carry on the hard line. Geelong retaining possession well. Haw plays flat, looking for my eye in the middle. And they're up over the 10-metre line already before it's ripped out free. That's a decent effort from Vainau, forcing a bit of a knock-on in the process, so we'll have our first scrum of the afternoon.
Mate, just seeing the way that Shepparton are defending, they've got 3 guys at the back, well, 2.5. I think it's to complement, it's to make sure that they don't get that kicking game down that slope. So interesting to see. I think many teams will start doing that. They've got 3 guys in the back, but in saying that, the attack from Geelong has been really good. 60 metres they've made in the first phase of plays.
And when you see those teams play the extra person in the backfield more than they might typically, it does invite the run, doesn't it?
Sure does, mate. There'll be a lot of running rugby, particularly with the weather.
Scrum goes down. McLaughlin happy to let it play, though. Hall works it straight to my eye. Early ball out to the edge, creating a little bit of space now for Ratawa. Races inside the 22. Ratawa goes for the corner. What a tackle that is. He gets it up off the deck, and there in support is my eye. He's 5 metres short of the chalk. Hot on attack now is Geelong. Can they get the opening score? They look for the hard running. Ulugia brought down 15 metres in from touch. They're defending on their heels at the moment, Shepparton. Ratawa plays out the back. Numbers on the right. Fa'aoso tries to do it himself. The hooker bashes over and gets the first for the Rams.
Wow. What a start from the Geelong side. They're just holding the ball. They're not kicking it, as you can see there. And all they're doing is just putting it through their hands. That break down the wing there set them up. What a try. What a great start to the game.
Well, the speed that was shown there by Ratawa on the left edge. I thought he was going to do it himself, and it was a desperate tackle that saved the day down in that corner. But yeah, perhaps an indication there, Nems, you touched on it. You have a couple too many players in the backfield defending the kick. You do leave your defensive line a little bit skinny, and weren't Geelong quick to pounce on that, immediately skinning them on the outside.
I don't know if you can hear it through the screen, but there's a big wind coming through. It's pretty windy down here at Box Hill, so it might be a smart thing to just hold that ball and play. And look what they've done.
The kick can't find its mark, and you got an indication there when it hit its high point, how it sat up in the breeze a little bit there for Brodie Hall. So 5-0, scores remain. It's going to be Ulima, Herman Ulima, who gets us underway again. Nice high kick straight down the middle. Ooh, allowed to bounce. That's a mistake from Paddy Clark. He's a little bit unsure who was going to claim at the centre. And it's often a difficult kick to defend, isn't it, the one straight down the middle, because it's not something that's rehearsed a lot at training.
No, and I think they're just a bit of poor communication on who was going to catch the ball there. But look, it's open now for Shepparton to have a crack here and see what they've got to offer.
So they're going to have a scrum on the 22, bang in the middle of the field. Always a difficult place to defend. And then you've got the added consideration as a fullback, how you want to stand, whether you're in the line or behind the line. It looks for now like Geelong's got a man in the back. How do you want to attack something like this?
You'd have to get the 8 involved, suck in that 9 and those first sort of defenders, and look at their wingers that they've got, extremely quick.
They go to the left immediately, early ball, looking for Viliamu. Look at the strength there of Cerro Isidval getting inside the 22. Causing a bit of a high shot to be put on him, so they'll get a long arm. And a few options available here. How would you like to play something like this?
Look, if you back your kick, I'd go the 3. In grand final 40 points, you've got to take that are on offer. You've got to take your points. But they've opted for the line out here. They've got some big boppers. Hopefully they can push them over here and come away with some points. But it's crucial that every time you're in here, you got to come away with points in a grand final.
First opportunity of the afternoon for Shepparton in decent field position. I understand they had 2 full buses heading down to Melbourne this morning. Such was the support they've got. They immediately find their target. Mikuli at the back, set up the maul. It's dragged down. So they go for the pick and go. That's a decent carry. They're a metre short here, the Bulls. Around the corner they go, looking for Polo. And a slight little forward. Is that knock on there or gone forward? Halts their momentum. In the field behind us, you might hear some of the victory celebrations. It's another one of our regional teams having cause for celebration. Bendigo getting up over Powerhouse in the, I don't know, what was that, 4s? Where too many games. There's 3 fields in operation at the moment. So for those fans who don't have access to Rugby Explorer, I can confirm Bendigo defeated Powerhouse. One of those lower grade fixtures. Congratulations to them. As Geelong go down the short side from the scrum. Brodie Hoare, decent boot from the fly half, but only finds touch about 30 metres out. Best conditions of the year so far. I was shocked. Looked at the weather app this morning. Expecting 20 degrees here. It's currently at about 19. It's the warmest day we've had all year on a Saturday here in Melbourne. So rugby gods are smiling on us as Shep call a short line out. Mikuli claims it. Brought down immediately though. That'll allow the defence in the back line to flatten up as they go for Polo on the hard line, the winger coming off his line to get involved early. Looking for a flat and hard Pelly. He plays out the back though. They got space on the right, racing away into the backfield. So Izzy Val. And just a slight error at the end. Paddy Clark's there to clean up though. And Shepparton thought they almost had them skinned on the edge there. And Geelong able to force the error. As Vainau is tasked with escaping the 22. Brodie Hoare. Oh, the full fly half puts on his dancing feet. And very almost turning it over. It got taken a little bit high though, so this will make for an easy exit.
He was, thought he was away there, and he sort of second thought what he was going to do, but thankfully got the easy exit here.
That wind really starting to pick up. It's blowing in the direction of Clubhouse Corner, so on a bit of a diagonal slant. So for those watching on their screens, blowing towards the clubhouse, which you'll see in the top left of your screen on the wide shots. And it looks as though Powerhouse have claimed that area of the hill already today. It's picked off. Here's a chance for Mikuli racing inside the 22. The lock brought down inside the enemy quarter. On the hard line now, Seru Isavau trying to double the dose for the Bulls. Around the corner they come. Peletiso held up high in the tackle, needs to find the turf. Shot put on him by Ioelu. Interesting little pass there. Pelly now puts it under his big mitt, gets an offload away. Numbers on the right if they can shift it. Early ball to the edge looking for Natoga. Was that a cynical knockdown? Yeah.
Could be yellow.
Could be. And, well, again, forced with a decision. Thanks to you. Hold up. And they're going to elect to take the scrum. It's not the first time it looked like they've had a bit of space on that right edge, though.
It looks like that is their strength, is to get it to the wide channels, because they've gone there twice now and they've just fall short. Maybe they probably just got to change a little bit, give it to those wingers and those outside backs, because every time they get the ball, they seem to be sparking something up.
So they're going to keep, for now, Bataya Natonga here on the short side for Shepparton. Just dragging defenders away as Viliamu goes for a run. This is damaging from the 12. Viliamu refusing to be tackled. He's a metre short. They've got numbers on the left. Quick ball to the edge, trying to get him on the outside. Running free is Nainau. He is held up by Paddy Clark. What desperate defence that was from the centre. Not out of trouble yet, though, is Geelong. Ulima looks for a runner. Barking orders to his forwards left and right. They had the penalty advantage, though. And they want to play quickly, do they? Oh, they thought about the quick tap. And they'll just have a moment to pause here, perhaps. It's quite a handful, isn't he? Maris Viliamu, the inside centre.
Yeah, every time he gets the ball, he's dangerous with the ball in hand. They're the sort of guys that he needs to be getting the ball as much as he can, and he scores.
Held up, I'm hearing. Amber McLaughlin, despite the celebrations of Shepparton, he was very quick to signal a held up there. And look at that, they're kicking quickly straight into the arms of Herman Ulima. He fangs it infield. Cyril Isivao tries to do it himself, slips over, beats one, beats two, gets the offload away, surprise, surprise, and they're inside the 22. Shepparton with a mountain of territory early. Can they turn it, though, into points? That's a decent carry. Tuye Tufunga gets up, goes again, setting play up in the middle of the field. Options left and right here, but the work at the breakdown is incredible. Jeff Fa'aoso, take a bow.
Just a few times there's opportunity to go wide. You can see, you can hear their wingers screaming it. Just unfortunate there. And Geelong come away with the goods.
So 4 entries inside the opposition 22 now for Shepparton. Yet to convert any of them into points. And it always starts to make coaches a bit nervous when you start to get to that many entries without anything to show for it. Geelong, well, throw it a bit long. I think McLaughlin's suggesting there was a knock on there, or was it not straight? Not straight, perhaps. So this will afford Shepparton a scrum. And from what you've seen in the early stages of some of the threats in this Shepparton backline, who's going to give you the biggest headache if you're a Geelong defender here?
Mate, it's the winger for me, Natonga. The two wingers here, Natonga and Paulo. If these guys can get their ball in hand and get the ball out, they just look dangerous. And I must add as well, number 13, Seru Savo. He's been potent from. Here we go.
Oh, on the hard line. The man he called, San Paulo. Oh, he's been skittled, but gives away the penalty. Not releasing. And look at this, they want to play quickly. Garrett Maiai decides to take the quick tap. They've almost advanced it up to halfway. And Geelong, they've got numbers on the left if they can work it there. Show and go from Fa'aoso. Gets the offload away. Here we go. Space on the left edge now for Ratawa. Cuts inside. Oh, he couldn't hold it though. The fingertips weren't equal to the task. They had the advantage though. But what an interesting tactic. We've seen it a couple of times now. Geelong wanting to play quick and fast. Yeah,
well, their intent, they showed it straight from the kickoff that they wanted to play this game. I'm kind of a bit surprised with that advantage, a bit of a long advantage there. Yeah. But, hey, Geelong's intent is to play, and it's paying dividends for them.
On the turnover, you just sense they're going to be very difficult to stop, the Rams. Not interested in going to the sideline whenever they were given those early long arm penalties. Trying to up the speed of this game. Interesting tactic. Love to see it.
It's that number 10, Brody Hughes. I sometimes think he's not on the same page as his players next to him. He's quick, he's eager to go, but that's good, that's great. That's the energy you want. You want to run these big guys.
So, great territory now for the Rams. feels like an eternity since they were inside the opposition quarter. They're going to start with the line out, well claimed at the front there by Ratoa, and they set up the maul. And look at this, Shepparton not contesting, and a bit of a truck and trailer, but they had a bit of an advantage earlier than that, so we'll go back for the short arm. Ooh, okay, here you go, Brodie Hoare. Taps and plays. Here we go. Lugia bangs into the defence. He's about 5 metres short. They play quickly off the back of that. Hoare, show and go, cuts inside. The pint-sized fly half gets manhandled by Paulo. Coughs it up, but they had the long arm advantage there. Now, grand final football. What options are best in a situation like this?
I'd say I'd keep attacking. They've obviously been, they threw the ball in hand, and then what do you know? They go for goal. It's always a commentator's curse, isn't it?
Well, Brodie Hoare electing to take the 3. I think you might be right. I think he's operating on a different wavelength to the 14 other blokes around him, this fly half.
I've seen Ulungia telling him to change his decision a few times. So, look, what do we know, mate?
So, kick from directly in front. Shouldn't be too much of a challenge for the fly half. And it isn't. Flags are raised.
Geelong, every time they get into that opposition, I said that earlier, you got to convert them into points, and they've just been doing that. Get you 3, whether it's 3, 5 or 7. This is what builds scoreboard pressure, particularly in big games like this.
Yeah, you're right. 2 from 2. 2 entries, 2 scores. Meanwhile, Shepparton, 4 entries, 0 points to show. Cheeky little kickoff that. Oh, very flat. I fancy it's a bit of a knock on. Shepparton retain it. This is good stuff. And immediately they find Viliamu. Gets a nice little pass away, looking for Ulima. Creating space on the right. Brought down. Here's Vayanau. The little halfback, Wongareravaki, tries to take it himself. Pick and go through the middle. Tries to catch them. They're having a sleep. They're awake to it, though. They work it back to the left. And Shepparton are 4 metres short of the chalk. They go for the pick and go. Big Tuie Tafuga coughs it up, but there was a stray hand at the bottom of that ruck, so they'll get the long arm. Shaping for a quick tap here, are they? Yep, going to take the tap. How do you stop this? 130 kilos of muscle denied by a centimetre. Options left and right. They work it to the right. Show and go here now from Peletiso. They're claiming it. McLaughlin wants to consult with her touchy. And the meat pie is awarded. Fatu Peletiso gets one for the Bulls.
What a try, and that's just what they needed. Like you said, they've been in there 4 times and haven't got any reward from it. But to finally get in there, all it was a quick tap over the line. It converts it into points. They're right back in it. Shepparton.
I'll tell you something I've really liked about Shepparton from their 2 kickoffs. They've regained possession. The first one was the high shot, which went directly in the middle of the field. Allowed to bounce by Geelong. They got it back. And then we saw that really interesting kick, that last one from Ulima. It was a really flat kickoff that Geelong didn't know how to capture. And they were able to retain that as well.
Well, it's obviously something they've seen during the week. That's probably where they're vulnerable a little bit, and they've capitalised it. Like they always say, that old saying, don't change what's not broken.
Breeze really starting to pick up here as we hit the 20-minute mark of this Premiership Grand Final. Ulima feels the wrath of the breeze. Can't add the extra 2. Difference of 3 points.
Just over 20 minutes gone. Probably what you expected from these two sides. Close scoreline. Bit of an evenly contested. It'd be interesting to see as the game progresses which team will sort of get away from it.
So Garrett Mayai, responsible for the restart, gets plenty of hang time on that. Well claimed though by Shepparton. Saruisival coughs it up though, and well, both sides struggling with their exits early. So they race up on Tuitubo. He gets skittled 15 metres in from touch, doesn't release it, and that gives the long arm to Shepparton. Both sides struggling with their kickoff receptions early though.
Yeah, just probably not all on the same page in terms of comms. I think Old Mate got it pretty high there though.
Yeah.
I feel they got to use the wind. They've got to really use the wind to their advantage, whether they're against it. I still haven't seen a lot of kicking.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, in terms of territory. So they obviously back their skills, and they back their, particularly Geelong. So it'll be interesting to see as the game goes on. Do you start using your kicking game, or do you just keep running? By all means, if you can run all day.
Good point. I don't think I've seen a grand final with so few kicks, ball in hand, after a quarter of the match. The only kicks being attempted are those for touch. And as if to continue that theme, Shepparton put it through the hands, and a chance now on the right edge, and they race away. Chance now for Patea. He kicks it in the middle of the field. They got a man chasing after it. Paulo races hard and allowed to bounce, and this is a chance to clear it from their own line, Geelong. But we were just saying they haven't kicked it. They were waiting for the perfect opportunity to.
Wow, and that's all it. See, when Shepparton throw the ball, they take it to the wide. I've been saying this. They've got to get there. They've got to be doing a lot more of them. That's where their pay comes out. Just got to get into this winger's hands. I'm telling you.
Natonga, yeah. Love to see him get the ball with a little bit of real estate in front of him. So they'll have the line out. Just on the 22. Claimed at the front. Wasn't pretty, though. Via Matahal. And they'll set up shop just inside the 22. They want to work down the short side here. Try to steal a couple of cheeky metres as Wongareravaki goes digging. Now the big men work it to the open side. The little halfback taken out of play. And you touched on him pre-game. He is an excitement machine. Wongareravaki, the halfback for Shepparton. Watched a few of his games this year. He is electric. Little Jack in the box.
Little Jack. He's got that little speed, Wonga. If he can just keep that, get the forwards going, and then just find that spark to have a crack. You know, Geelong forwards need to be wary here, particularly 1, 2, and 3 in the defence line.
Well, bit of a chance down the short side. They try to catch him napping with a tap move. And McLaughlin's going to have a consultation with the assistant referee. And I fancy here, Tuia Tufunga. Well, he went down the short side. Are they saying held up, offside? But it was very interesting. They had Ben Pelly aligned to the right. He was obviously the decoy. They made it seem like the prop on the open side was going to take the first hit up, and then they swung it down the short side where they almost caught them napping.
What a scary sight when you see Tufunga running down the edge there.
Yeah.
Especially if you're a little winger or a centre.
I'm going to pause play. There's a Geelong player in back play getting a little bit of attention here. I fancy it's Corey Ward. And the big man's back on his feet though.
The veteran just needed a breather.
Yeah. Doesn't fancy having to chase this line drop out.
He'll be telling him to kick the other way.
So here he goes, Brodie Hall. Looking for touch and finding it.
Nice.
Decent work from the number 10.
Really impressed with the way Brodie Hall's playing. He's controlling the game for his Geelong side. I feel we haven't seen him open up yet, but really impressed so far with the way he's conducting his team. on how he's conducting him.
Coach's son only naturally gets given the number 10 shirt, right?
Yeah, fair enough.
The on-field coach as well. Calling the short line out here once again as Polo waits in the back line for Shepparton. Claim it at the front. Slow ball here now. Pelly, tip of the spear. Show and go from the prop. Ooh, nice little grass cutter. Tackle on him. Slow ball low. Oh, and just falls behind Ulimar a little bit. Out the back it goes to Patea. Patea races down the short side. Here's your man. He's waiting for it. Natonga couldn't get it though. Yeah, leaving their feet. Wrong team. Well, he's away there. Natonga, he thought the long arm had been awarded to Shep. It was actually him leaving his feet in the process of cleaning out.
He was unlucky there. There was a Geelong player in the way there. It's going to be, oh well.
Oh, the kick goes straight into the barbecue.
They're not happy.
Gilbert's going to come back with some greasy stains on it, a bit of tomato sauce. So Jeff Faoso licks the sauce off his fingers, throws it to two, and they work it to the backs. Look at the speed here of My Eye. Racing over the 10-metre line. Gets a lazy pass out the back, though, looking for Malu. And it beats them all in to a touch, but he's got a bit of toe about him, the number 12.
Yeah, he does. He looks dangerous every time he gets ball in hand. Pretty impressed with his defence. Doesn't get sucked in. But when he gets attacked, we obviously haven't seen too much of him in attack, but when he does get it, it looks pretty dangerous.
Two teams unable to be split at the end of the regular season, both finishing up the competition on 66 competition points. The only difference being that Geelong actually had 12 wins and 2 losses. Shepparton, 11 wins and 3 losses, but on account of the fact that they're such point-scoring machines, Shepparton, they're able to amass enough bonus points that they finish with the same competition points. So that alone should indicate just how many points they're capable of scoring.
And you know what? It reflects this game, just how close the scores are, and they've got that intent to want to play. They're obviously an attacking team. They don't like kicking. I've been told probably maybe not to kick in this game, but what the heck? If they can run it from anywhere, why not?
I don't think I've seen a grand final like this with so few kicks. It's always, grand final footy. Everyone talks about play the corners, back your defence, yada, yada, yada. Nope, not with these two sides. And aren't we lucky for it? So Geelong, flat and fast. Brodie Hoare takes it to the line. He looks for a hard-running Paddy Clark. Clark wants an offload, finds an offload. The forwards are waiting on the right. Fa'aoso. Look at this guy go. Isn't he a bowling ball? Sets up shop in the middle of the field. Options left and right. And turned over, but there was a stray hand in there, and now they will have a decision to make. Penalty directly in front, 30 metres out. Well, Hall decides to go to the corner and set up shop inside the 22. And you've touched on it already, Nems. They've been ruthless every time they've entered the 22, Geelong.
Yep, and Geelong, this is their third time in the 22. The last 2 times they've been in here, they've converted them into points. Again, in grand final footy, you got to come in, you got to go away with something.
It starts with a take from Kennedy at the back. They launch her right into the midfield, trying to get on the front foot. Around the corner come some of the forwards, but a bit of sloppy work at the breakdown stunts the momentum.
Just not what you wanted from number 9 there in Vatuanga. Just the short, the probably little brain spurt there, but if they had got that ball away, could have been danger for Shepparton. But nevertheless, Shepparton get the feed, and again, we've been harping on them not kicking as much. We'll see if they kick here or they'll run it out. With the plays they've got, you'd think they'd run it here.
Yep, it's we've got one man in the backfields, Brody Hall, but both the wingers are standing a little bit deep, so run option is certainly on, and they go down the short side with Dan Patea, takes it to the line, wanted an offload, gets up, plays, tries to go again. He's got to be careful of that, you don't get pinged, but McLaughlin happy with it. Just slowed down a little bit. Wongareravaki controls the tempo a little bit, and what's that we see? A kick straight down the throat of, who's it go? Malu. Show and go from the right winger, held up in the tackle by Ulima. He'll stop on the 10-metre line, but this is a good place to start your attacking raid. Down the short side, they want to work it. Losing his footing there, Lungia just forces the attack to take a few extra steps back as they use that man Kennedy again. Flat, they find Ioelu. Chance now, though, for the backs to play off it. Chance, Varuwanga thought he saw half a hole. And, yeah, breakdown infringement here, so Shep will get it back. And look at this, tap and go quickly. Dan Patea is up over halfway. Got the advantage as well, puts the kick into the backfield. There's no one at home. Patea racing after it. Has he got the legs to get there? Back to save the day. Lungia. And they will clear this from their own try line, but that was hard in your mouth stuff.
I'm pretty sure that was an advantage, and he's kicked it, and they've pulled it back. So, anyway, what a kick! I would have thought they would have come out to Natonga. Natonga's just been out there waiting for that ball.
Dan Patea, keep an eye out on that fullback as well. Heavily involved in that passage. He was the one who tried to run it from the scrum, and then the quick tap. Didn't think twice about it, did he? Just straight tap and go in the middle of the field. Aren't we blessed to have so many attacking threats on both sides of the ball here this afternoon? For now, though, Shep looking for Fonoia. The open side flanker. Oh, that's a big hit. Very big hit. Oh, and someone's been skittled from Geelong. Keep an eye on them. They play out the back. They might have a 2-on-1 if they can work it there. Chance now. Viliamu brought down just outside the 22. And they've got the penalty, but I'll tell you who looks a little bit shook there. Junior Lungia. Number 8 for Geelong. That was a big hit.
Very big hit, and he's been great for them this half for Ulungi, getting them forward, front foot ball. Every time he gets the ball, he's dangerous. Let's just hope he's, could be a shoulder. Let's just hope he's all right, because they'll need him.
That kick's not going to fight touch. Here's your man, Natonga. First chance to see what he can do in open space. Goes on a bit of a crossfield dark, finds his Fijian brother, Seroisi Vau. He gets it through the hands. Chance now, Vayanau. This is what we want to see, but he throws an offload. And Malu comes away with it. Well, it was exciting stuff to watch. Counter-attack footy from Shepparton. Geelong now. Slow ball for them as they're boxed in on that right touchline. Fa'aoso, tip of the spear. He goes a bit sideways. Picks out Pelly in the middle. Brought down.
There's no one back here.
Yeah, there's no one in the backfield for Shepparton. Early ball to the edge. Chance now on the left side of the field. Here goes Ratawa. What a tackle that was. Danny Patea saves the day and drags him into touch.
They started the game with two guys. Just there was no one at the back there. It was a lot of kicking opportunity, especially with that slope behind them. Nevertheless, like we said, mate, there's no kicking in this game.
No, gentleman's agreement pre-match.
I love that.
So it's been played at a frantic pace. What's the clock saying here? 30. Oh, geez, we almost at half time. Well, that should give you some indication of just how quickly this game has gone. I would have said 25 minutes or something. It's
time flies when you're having fun, mate.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, going to be a lot of tired players smashing some oranges at half-time because this game has been played at a frantic pace. We saw the one little stoppage earlier with, who was it, Big Corey Ward sucking in the Seagulls, and now we've got a second player down. We haven't had too many stoppages for injuries and whatnot, but Here we sit, 5 minutes out from half-time, 8-5 in favour of Geelong, but only down by 3, Shepparton. What's your message to the Shepparton side if you're in the half-time huddle with them down by 3?
I'd be saying spread the ball. I'd be saying get the ball to the width, and I could probably be saying this a lot. They're dangerous every time they spread the ball and get it into the outside backs. And again, when you're down there, I'd be telling them, convert them into points, turn those opportunities into points, whether it's 3, 5 or 7.
Yeah, haven't been quite as ruthless as the Rams inside the 22. Tried the flat line out throw. McLaughlin wasn't having any of it though. So Geelong will have the option here. But yeah, only 3 points separating these two sides. Of course, they've met twice already this year. Back in round 16, just a couple of weeks ago, Geelong got up 5-0. Can you believe it? Only 1 try scored in a full 80 minutes. And there's a change as well. Hello. Preston is going to come on at halfback for the Rams. And Varuwonga is going to make his way to the sideline. And Preston immediately harassed. Hall throws it behind. They put it on the shoe, courtesy of my eye. Into the backfield they go. Batea's there. Now this kid can move. Chip and chase. Hello. This is interesting. Needs the bounce. Can't get the bounce. And Geelong reclaim possession. Kick it into touch. Hack it into touch. And we'll take a bit of a breather as we pack this scrum. But Preston to early change at number 9. This is interesting.
Very interesting, particularly in a grand final. Or maybe, what comes to mind, maybe a bit of injury. But I thought he was good when he was on.
Yeah, Varuwonga. 2 Fijian opposing halfbacks. That was one of the key matchups we were looking forward to today. Now just down to 1 as Preston makes his way onto the field. So Shepparton, switch pass there, looking for the battering ram, Viliamu, and hasn't this guy just eaten up meters today? Always gets over the A-line, gets them on the front foot here. They do a good job of slowing it down, Geelong. Too good a job, in fact, because it was illegally so. And now we have a decision to make. In the shadows of half-time, down by 3 points, how do you play this one? And as I say that, it looks like Kitty Sero Isival might be down in the backfield for Shepparton.
There's 2 of them.
Oh, no.
That's a big blow. Hopefully he's okay.
Yeah, he's brilliant. Can't lose him.
And you're right, mate. They have opted for the 3 points. Smart decision, considering there's, 2.5, 3 minutes to go. Again, scoreboard pressure is the most important thing in grand final footy.
Well, he has a quick rub of his leg, and he's good to go. Kitty Sero Isival, and they'll take the 3 points. Opportunity now perhaps to walk into the sheds with scores all level. Hasn't been much splitting these sides all year, so it's only fitting that we'd see a deadlock at halftime. As the kick has the legs, and we're all locked up.
Mate, it is 8-all, just what they wanted, just going into the halftime break. Oh, with a good kicker like that, I'd be kicking from everywhere.
Yeah. Dan Patea. A decent effort that. Pretty windy conditions as well he's fighting against. He is kicking, remember, into a slight breeze when he's running on the screen at home. It does favour Geelong in this first half as it's blowing a bit towards the clubhouse. Kickoff is well taken on this occasion. as Geelong with the counter ruck might have found a way that they steal it. Yeah, they have.
Might be in trouble here.
What's going on here? They're going to call over Ratawa for a bit of a consultation.
Not too many wingers become captains in a game, Jared, and it's good to see we've got a winger that's a captain, or captain that's a winger, because you hardly ever see that.
No. Have you ever captained from out on the swing and ding?
No, only at 12.
At 12?
But then, yeah, no, it was vice captain.
Yeah?
But really, you don't really get so much.
That doesn't count.
Exactly. That was just more of a tag,
that's a participation award for leadership, isn't it?
You almost don't want it. Don't worry about it. Just have one. There's only one captain, really.
They usually get to feature in the captain of the social committee. Isn't that the sole purpose of the vice captain?
Yeah, but you don't get too much these days.
So, perhaps one final say in the first half. And an opportunity for one more score. Bit of commotion on the field behind us as Footscray take on Harlequins in the, I fancy that's the second grade final. So quick hands now. Patea throws a Hail Mary over the top. Finds Sero Isival. There's the hot potato stuff back into Patea. And he keeps it alive somehow. They're inside the 22. Well, hello. Is this game starting to open up? In the shadows of half-time. They play it flat into the middle. Got numbers on the left here. That's where they want to work it. Ulima directing traffic. The pass was terrible. And that was the result. A knock-on. He almost got ahead of themselves there.
Again, they'll be frustrated with those little mistakes, mate. That's every time that creeps in. Every time they get into their 22. As we know, Geelong haven't really set foot in their own heart in the 22 of Shepparton, but they seem to convert. How many more chances, mate, for Shepparton? How many more?
Well, I almost feel like it's fitting if we go into the break at eight apiece. There's been nothing separating these two sides all year, so it'd almost be set up a grandstand second half, 40 minutes with it all to play for. Geelong might not agree, though, because they're going to run it from their 22 and give an opportunity now for Malu. He gets up to halfway before he puts his toenail on the touchline. And that'll be all she wrote in the first half.
It was that halfback, Samuela Wangarevaka. He's covered defence there, got him out, which put him into half time. But he's been outstanding this first half.
And we're all locked up at 8 apiece. I'll tell you what, not much splitting these two sides, but if you had to call it in the second half, who's impressed you the most at this point of the contest? Who do you feel has the upper hand after 40 minutes?
Look, I just feel Geelong have that. They've been consistent the whole 40 minutes. I think Shepparton started slow and eventually got there and crept in to make it 8-all. But I just feel that composure from Geelong might pay off for them in the second half. Shepparton, again, they're just. Every time they get into those 22s, they've got to be converting. I know I'm harping on about it, but Geelong seem to just know what they're doing every time they get down there, and that's the most important thing. I think the first team to score in this second half is going to be a team that's probably going to most likely, go away with it. But it'll be interesting to see. Again, I'd say Geelong will probably come away with it, but what do we know? We're commentators, mate. We're not rugby players, so we'll leave it to the experts.
Well, the coaches have got 5 minutes to instill a sense of belief in both of their sides. 40 minutes to play in the Premiership Grand Final here on the biggest day of rugby on the Victorian calendar, Grand Final day. And we'll be back very shortly with all the second half action.
All right, while we wait for the second half to start, just some updated come here with 2 kids, 3 kids, make sure you go home with 2 or 3 kids. Please don't leave them behind. I have enough kids to look after. Just a reminder as well, rugby's a place we come to enjoy the world, to escape the world, to get away from the stress. So, if you have an opinion about a referee, write that opinion down, put it on a piece of paper, put that piece of paper in a bottle, and throw it into the ocean. Great day here at the Box Hill Rugby Club. The bar is open and the burgers are flipping. Grassroots rugby is exactly where it's at. Minutes ago in this second half of the Premiership Grand Final here on Field 1. It's 8 apiece. Who will win the second half to be the 2024 Premiership champion?
Welcome back to Box Hill Rugby Club here on the biggest day of the year, Rugby Victoria Grand Final Day, and we are 40 minutes away from naming our Premiership champions of 2024. It's Geelong running left to right in the second half, taking on, well, I must say, a very determined Shepparton side in the green and blue. Of course, Geelong in the black and white hoops, and they start things in the second half with a Lungia charging carry up to halfway. Nothing splitting these two teams this season. They finished the regular season equal first on the ladder, both with 66 competition points. They've played twice already this year, 1 win apiece, so it's only fitting at half-time that the scores are all locked up. This second half comes down to heart, and we're going to get a chance now to see who's got the biggest heart out of these two clubs. Very proud clubs. As I touched on it earlier, Shepparton had 2 full buses travel down this morning, full of supporters coming to support them. And plenty of crowd already starting to gather around as Malu goes for a bit of damaging run to support some of our regional teams. And isn't it fantastic to see? I'm your commentator, Gerard McClenahan. as Jeff also rumbles it towards the 22. Joined in the commentary box in the second half by Namani Nadolo, who's treating us with his wisdom as Geelong are bundled into touch. And a recurring theme in the first half, Nems, was the ruthfulness of the Rams and how efficient they were at scoring points whenever they got into the opposition half.
100%. As you can see here, they've gone again for the 3 points. Smart decision. They've started strong. And just echoing on what you said about these two teams, it's good to see these regional teams come together and we get to see them. It's not often that you'll get to see teams like Geelong and Shepparton. I think Bendigo won. In the other field before. So, rugby's truly well alive. It's alive here in Victoria, and it's good to see so many teams, fill up this place down in Box Hill. So, big thank you to all that keeps rugby alive here in Victoria.
Brodie Hall with a chance to send Geelong to the front, but he misses. And scores remain locked up. Of course, on the field behind us, we've got Footscray taking on Harlequins in the reserve grade fixture. There's so many grand finals today. I'd encourage anyone at home watching, jump onto the Rugby Explorer app to stay up to date with the scores in all of the grades, not just what's happening on your live screen here. As that kick taken in the backfield by Mai, he finds an offload. Nevertheless, Malu now. Hello, here's a chance. He looks up, he finds Paddy Clark, and Clark fangs it infield. Oh, well, that didn't quite work out the way he thought it would. And there'll be an opportunity now for Shepparton.
Nailu, every time he gets the ball, he's dangerous. He doesn't have much space, but he just looks dangerous in attack, ball in hand.
So Shepparton, watched a great program on them this week on ABC, a documentary, the show Mel was on.
The Pacific Sports Show.
Pacific Sports Show, yeah. They did a great story this week, a documentary on the Shepparton rugby team. So many of these players on these foreign visas working in farms, they come across, and that's why most of these players are out picking fruit during the week and a long way from friends and family. So we say hello to everyone in the islands who's watching today, because we know this is probably the first chance, maybe the only chance all season you've had to watch your brothers, sons, cousins, friends. You might not have seen them for a long time. And for many of these young men, rugby has played the role of family whilst they're living overseas. And it's a touching story for those who missed it on the ABC. The stories, so many wonderful tales of players in this Shepparton team coming together from, I think, 9 different nations, in fact, represented in today's match day 15, and finding that common cause, which is rugby.
And it's good to see rugby, where we come from, rugby is second to religion, right? So to see these guys, that's what rugby does. It'll always bring them together, and stories that you always hear about it, it's good to see, and we get to see them live here today.
Of course, Geelong as well got a huge Fijian population as well. We were chatting with some of their staff earlier in the game as well, so I dare say we've got a few supporters from Fiji as well tuned in on the Rugby Victoria Facebook page today, enjoying this as Makuli comes away with it, illegally so. So we shout out all of those guys tuning in on the Facebook page today and bid you a warm welcome from sunny Victoria. Not often we get to say that. This is not common weather at all. If you're thinking this is a regular Melbourne day, you're wrong.
Just to let everyone know, that's not living in Victoria. It's going to be storming tomorrow. So
is it? Oh, yeah. You've ruined it for me. So, picked off in the middle, and coming away with it is Mekuli, Lautuo, and Shepparton will start their set on halfway. Pelutiso. Left and right, here he goes. Wongarerevaki, got to keep an eye out for this guy. Gets the offload away. Suddenly Shepparton are on the front foot. Ball spits out. Chance now cutting through. Viliamu into the backfield. Viliamu trying to do it himself. He's brought down a metre short and straight through the hey diddle diddle. Kitty Siroisovau. And there is that Fijian magic we knew was going to strike at some point.
What a try. Just that, it was from that number 12. My A. He was dangerous with ball in hand. He just couldn't seem to put him down. And that's what I'm talking about. You get in that 22, you get into the opposition's half, you've got to convert. And that's going to be crucial. First to score for the other team. It creates a lot of pressure, particularly in big games like this, like a grand final.
Yeah, the platform was laid by Maris Viliamu. I tell you what, I think he's leading the metres run today, the inside centre for Shepparton. He's been used as a wrecking ball so often on first phase. Good to see him get an opportunity in open play to impart a little bit of damage. But it was his centre partner, the sneaky pick and go from the base. And Kitty, like a rat up a drain pipe.
I tell you what, Kitty was only lying down about 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, he was.
Going to come off.
What was the magic spell that got him up?
Must have been that carver they drank last night, mate.
The conversion is good. 5 turns into 7. And Shepparton suddenly looking pretty good.
I sense a momentum change here, Jared. I sense that Shepparton are, probably growing another leg here, and the energy's coming. I just think that Geelong, there's some tired legs there out there.
High kick in the middle. They've had trouble with this in the past, and this time they do a better job of it. Wasn't that something special? Tui Tufunga. Well, they cough it up. So a chance now for Geelong. They'll start on halfway as slowly the jerseys get behind the ball. Preston now playing at halfback. He was a replacement in the first half. So they play the corners. And, well, is that a 50-22?
Sure is, mate.
Hello.
I think it is.
Yeah. Well, fascinating because you touched on it pre-game. It was one of the opportunities when you play a ground like this. The field does sort of invite 50-22s, and until now, no team has really attempted one.
And if you'd expect one man to do it, it's that number 10 there, Brody.
Yep, Brody Hall. So now Geelong take it to the line, putting it through their lands, and Hall gets the offload away. Chance now on the right wing, Malu. Oh, picked up by Patea. And they retain possession though. Here's the danger man, My Eye. Working it to the left. Oh, it's been picked off. And oh, your man was almost away. Natonga looked up, saw nothing but green. And he forgot to clean the butter off his fingertips from this morning's toast. His eyes lit up. He was away.
15-8 here. They get it's Geelong's penalty. If I was them, I'd still be going for the post. Still build that pressure.
Yeah.
Close that gap.
Still plenty of time.
Still plenty of time. And maybe I should just stop talking because they always do the opposite. Well, if you've got a man like him.
He gets them within 3 yards. They're not happy with 3. They want 7. Preston directs traffic to the left. Faoso takes it into contact himself. Good clean out there. They return play to Tuitubo on the hard line. Now they go to the left. Oh, hot potato stuff. They do well to retain possession there. Chance on the left now. Taking it is Hoare to the line. What a great spot tackle that was. Hoare chopped down 5 metres in from touch and picked off down the sideline. But illegally so. I thought McCooley was away there.
It's that 9, that man in the halfback jersey, Wangarevaki. His tackles, they've just been connecting. It reminds me kind of a Frank Lamani from the Fiji Drua. Just no retreat, no surrender.
No fear.
No fear.
Yeah.
Just goes with it. And he's really impressed me with his defensive game.
Frankie's old club, of course, Powerhouse. will be contesting the Jewish Shield in an hour's time. One of a few decorated former powerhouse players, of course, Serapapuli Uru, now a Wallaby as of last week. As Geelong go for a bit of a run, Lungia spears his way towards the post, coughs it up. Hoare gets belted backwards. They've lost about 10 metres on the play here. They're on the back foot all of a sudden. So Geelong enter the 22. So often they come away from this situation with points. Preston directs traffic to the left. Second man play. Hoare takes it to the line. They've got numbers on the left if they can use it. Chance now in the corner. The Rams are back, baby.
And it's that pressure, that consistency that they've been doing throughout the whole game. What a try. Again, it started with that man, Brodie Hoare, who out the back play, feeds the two players outside him over in the sideline.
Andrew Ratawa is the one who will get his name on the scoreboard. Very interesting, though. They were using the big men and sucking in that defensive line, and then I fancy it might have been Jeff also. They played a little second-man play out the back, the forwards, and just as the defence was contracting, they started to play those second-man play options out the back, and that's what created space on the edge for the Rams. And we've got another ding-dong battle on field one. Brodie Hoare from out wide. Just short. He forgot to have the extra wheat bix this morning, and he pays for it. They trail by 2, 15 plays 13.
This game's going to go down to the wire, mate, and just the way that you just echoing on what you said, Geelong are starting to play a lot more out the back, getting their forwards to go up, then playing their little back play, which we've seen there with that try. What can Shepparton do now?
Herman Ulima goes long to the right on this occasion. Oh, in between two players, they retain possession though, Geelong. Always hard in your mouth stuff on these breezy days, but hello. Got an error from the reception. And points don't count until you exit. And Shepparton invited back into this, and look at that. No hesitation pointing to the sticks on this occasion.
Smart idea. Obviously they got the wind a little bit there blowing in their direction. But also just to settle it down a bit. I think it's a bit too tense out there. He's been kicking well. I just hope I haven't given him the commentator's
Give it
curse.
in the mocker.
Jesus. I'm having a shocker.
Well, I'll gather your thoughts. We're almost 3/4 of the way through the match. A few names for your player of the match so far from both sides?
Look, with Geelong, I have to go Ulungia. Number 8's been killing it for him. And number 9, Samuela Wanga Redevaki. Two guys have had influential roles in this game so far.
Dan Pateo, who's also been a threat today, tasked with the kick, can't find it, and look at this, Brodie Hoare goes for a bit of a prance before putting it on the shoe. So not the worst outcome for Shepparton. They don't get the 3 points, but they'll get a line out pretty close to the 22. Both sides still yet to turn to the bench. Coaches Richard Hoare, Sulanga and Atu as well. It's just pacing nervously on the far side of the field, waiting for an opportune time to introduce some bench players. That's an overthrow though. Who wants it most? Bravery on display from Fonoia. Sigafili there had no thoughts for his body. Just went head down into the ball. Oh, big shot. Wonga Ravaki gets absolutely dumped. They've got the advantage as well here. They put it on the shoe. Bounce is important. Geelong are back there. Fang the ball back and bundled into touch. But, the little halfback. That hurts.
I'll go for the drive here. I don't think I've seen him do a drive this game.
No.
Well,
that won't help. Yeah. Well, overthrow. So, Entru Ratawa, try scorer, comes away with it. Down the short side, they explore. Looking for Tui Tubo. Again, no sort of real desire to kick it. Happy to keep ball in hand, which is always a bit of a risk as they make a play on the ball. Shepparton can't steal it, though. Now they put it through their hands. That's a wild pass. Malu has to clean up. Oh, he's a bit isolated here. They try to make a steal. Eventually, Geelong get back there. Ooh. So eventually they put it on the shoe. It's not going to find touch. And Dan Patia, this guy's a real weapon. Watch out. Patia. Late switch there. He finds Polo. Polo, bumps over one, bumps over two. Here he goes. Sam Polo. Brought down 3 metres short of the chalk. Ball spits out the back. Shepparton are claiming it. I think it might be wishful thinking here, but McLaughlin's going to consult the touchy.
Could be a try.
In fact, Shepparton haven't walked back. Oh, it is given. Whoa. Where did that come from? I'll tell you what, who's getting pats on the back? Kitty Sero Isivao. It's not for the first time today we've seen after a line break, the outside centre for Shepparton, when he finds himself at the base of the ruck, doesn't bother cleaning out, just immediately picks up and goes. And it's worked for them again.
Probably teach his forwards a lesson or two on how to pick and drive, but for me, it was that man, that fullback that started it all. He's that bustering run with the inside ball.
Yeah, he's been great, hasn't he, Patia?
Yeah. Patia and Polo, they've had a great connection over this season. That makes it 20-13 with the kick to come.
From out wide. Oh, grazes the paint of the left post. Can't add the extra two. Oh, hello. McLaughlin is going to give him another kick.
Yeah, mate, it was number 19 for Geelong was shouting as he was... oh, no, sorry, it was number 20. He was shouting as he was trying to charge down their kicker, so...
Was that Botti? Stefano Botti?
Yeah.
Well, he must have only been on the field for a matter of minutes.
Well, you just come on.
Yeah. The coach said, give us some impact. And he's taken it quite literally. And bring some energy, bring the comms. He brought the comms, just not at the right time. And now they're going to get another kick. And this, it's not any easier. This kick, the gale breeze has just arrived. It's not going to make it any easier for Dan Patia.
Might be bringing it around.
And that's some response. He learnt from the first effort, gave it an extra 2 metres to the right, and swings it in. And the fullback, proving a real talisman for this Bulls outfit. They lead 22 points to 13.
that wind's really picked up now. It's probably made it a bit difficult for Geelong. Now they're playing into the wind.
Kick allowed to bounce. They pass it back. And it always makes me nervous when I see this. Oh, they race up on Patia. He evades one. Puts a chip and chase in on his own 22 and hands it straight over to Preston and the Geelong Rams. Oh my gosh, heart-in-mouth stuff this from Shepparton. You'd expect nothing less though from them. So a chance to counter-attack. Hoare directs traffic down the left. And Geelong being invited back into this game. On the hard line, Fire Ossel. Big Jeff places it back. They work. Ooh, they race up quickly there. I fancy they've got Caleb Nicholas now on the field. So he's slipped in whilst they were taking the goal attempt, number 2. So Nicholas comes on somewhere in the back row, I dare say.
That man again, that tackle from Samuela Wangarevaki. He is chopping like no tomorrow, which forced that penalty. He's going to have an outstanding game with today, El Samuela.
He was identified pre-game. We spoke to a few of some of the players and staff from the club. They identified him as one of their magicians on the field, capable of creating something out of nothing. Been proven right as well. So a tough throw for the hooker here. Peletiso will not be happy with that. It's going to result in a scrum for Geelong. We're in the final quarter of this match. And 7, 8, 9 point lead. I'm always very hesitant to tell the score because we've had a few games this year where the scoreboard is not the correct score, and we're I think there was one game, in fact, Moorabbin might have been Footscray at Footscray earlier in the year, where the scoreboard was wrong and the wrong team was celebrating with 1 minute to go. It was an utter
grassroots rugby, gotta love it, mate.
Anyway, Shepparton lead. That's the important thing for them at the moment. Lazy pass, but a chance now. Here they go. Early ball out onto the wing, looking for Malu. Oh, Ratu. Naibuka Malu. Bumps off one. That's inspirational stuff. They go back to their main man. My eye, Garrett. Always a handful. Retains possession. Got numbers back on the right. He thought about the kick initially, Brody Hoare. Dances, goes to the left instead. Oh, that's a good shot. Is that your man again? Well, they got the long arm, and, well, not for the first time today. Kitty's gone down injured. As they tap and go quickly. Here's a chance now for the Rams. They put it on the shoe and cough it up, but they might get it back. There's a bit of a knock-on, double knock-on, in fact. And as we say that, they're playing a man down at the moment, Shepparton, because their outside centre has been absolutely rocked in the back play.
Wow, this game, taking the last quarter, starting to be a bit physical. The physicality's starting to come in now. Geelong, they're getting the ball in the right players' hands is what you want. Your number 12, your wingers, you want them with ball in hand, particularly with 18 minutes to go. When you're playing in their territory, in the red zone, you need things to spark up, and they're your guys to go to.
So it'll be a Shepparton scrum. That's the other feature. Hasn't been a lot of scrums in this match. Feels like it's been played at such a frightening speed. We haven't had a real chance to see the two front rowers lock horns today.
They're probably not complaining either, mate.
Nah. Ooh, was that a slight knock on at the base? Yeah, it was. Wangarevaki. Slippery fingers. Coughs it up at the back of the scrum. And now it'll be Geelong with the put in.
Could this be the turning point, mate?
Yeah.
They need to score. They need to score now. 22-13. I have a feeling they're going to go. They're going to hit up the 10 and 12 channel. Might use their blind winger.
So I fancy Herman Ulima might have been taken off the fly half. It looks like they've got a new face out in the back line for Shepparton. So, great tackle made though from the halfback, Wangare Ravaka, making up for his earlier mistake. That puts Geelong behind the A-line. Just stunts their momentum somewhat. We're going to have to start from scratch now. Preston at halfback now. Directing traffic, finds your man, Junior Ulungia. Back down the short side they come. Jeff Fa'aoso. He's been pretty decent today, the hooker, hasn't he? Still, second man play out the back. This is where they get exciting now. Early ball. It's gone forward. Must admit, I couldn't really tell that from this angle. So it'll be a Shepparton scrum, and here come the reinforcements. This is where it becomes a challenge with our names and trying to get all of these numbers switched at once. Who we got? The 8's off, the 3's off. Tubai Lungi is on for Corey Ward. Ayosefa Koleni is on for Junior Ulungia. Good shove this from the Bulls. They're all over the halfback again. Wangare Vaka gets dispatched, loses about 3 metres, and suddenly they're on the back foot, playing a little bit more defensive. Patea puts it to the sky. This is a tester for the backfield. Ooh, well taken in the end. Hall gets charged down. Chance now as Patea races away. Hot potato stuff. He finds it unmarked. The Tonga on the edge. There's the offload. And Shepparton are 5 metres out. Hot on attack. They need a quick recycle. They can't get it, but there was a knock on from Geelong.
Wow. My, oh my. What a break. Back, Geelong find themselves back in their half. With Shepparton ready to strike again.
Well, Nico Kata, who's only been on the field about 3 minutes, I fancy he might be on for Herman Ulima. He was heavily involved there, as was your man. I thought Natonga, when he got it, he was away. I didn't think anyone was going to catch him, so they did incredibly well to race back and stop the winger. Desperate defence, and I tell you what, if they had crossed there,
could be game over.
Yeah, I'm prepared to say it's game over. They need to be the next to score here. Geelong, they're up against it now, inside their 22, defending for their season. They are now, the pick and go at the back. Here comes a pot of forward runners. Wangare Ravaki forced to clean out. The ball spits out for Geelong, but there was a stray hand there. And McLaughlin goes to the pocket and produces the fromage. They're down to 14 men, Geelong.
Wow. Just not what they wanted. We spoke about them scoring first. Probably just made it a little bit harder for them now. And now they've opted for the scrum, which Shepparton have been dominant all game with that scrum.
So the scoreboard clock here, which take it with a grain of salt, says there's only 10 minutes to play. And the yellow card is 10 minutes. So Geelong have got to claw back. What's that? They've got to score 10 points in the final 10 minutes, playing a man down. And this scrum suddenly takes on so much importance. If they cross here, Shepparton, they may well win this grand final in this very moment. The shove is good. Wongareravaka waits patiently at the back. He's happy to watch it go forward. He goes himself the little halfback. They grasp him by the collar. Try to throw him out. He can't do it. The pick and go goes. But McLaughlin says, that'll do me. Penalty try. And the Bulls are that much closer to Premiership glory.
I said it from the start. I said it a minute ago. Shepparton's scrum's been dominant all game, and they played smart there. They used what was working for them, and come away with 7 points. Not a bad thing. You don't have to convert in this wind.
Well, McLaughlin, has she shown another yellow card, or is...
No, she has.
Oh, wow. Wait,
Wow.
is that yellow or red? What was that?
That's 13 men, I think.
Yeah. I didn't see the colour, but it looked like it was one of the replacements. Abraham Ratua, who's only been on the field like 2 minutes, straight to the naughty chair. Oh, geez. 2-for-1 special on yellow cards. Well, that has surely extinguished the fight from Geelong as that kick comes into the commentary box. Great touch finder.
Not a bad nudge. I'd be quick throwing in that.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
There you
You called
go.
it. Chance now, and he's been charged down once already, Brody Hoare. He'll want to be careful here. He's on the back foot. Tries to get on the outside of Wonga Wereravaka. Oh, there's an interesting pass. And now we're going to see some hot potato footy. Well, is that forward? No, allowed to play on, surprisingly. And this game's going to really explode open now. 13 on 15. I wouldn't be shocked to see more points scored at this point. Bundled into touch. Geelong have got no option but to throw it around at this point. Chasing, a 16-point deficit.
Nothing to lose now.
And there they go. Fanging it across to Jeff Osso. He's been fantastic all season, Big Jeff. Wants to get an offload away. Gets an offload away. Hello. Geelong might have something else to say. Good clean out. They go down to the short side. Here he goes. Brody Hoare puts it on the shoot. Held back. We're going to come back for the long arm penalty, though.
She might even the ledger here. Looks like someone's going to get a yellow.
Yeah. Who's going to get a talking to here? So Shepparton, well, the game firmly, or the trophy firmly in their grasp at this point. Geelong don't want to go to the line out, and they're 2 players short. That's not going to help their cause. Fancy they'll have to take a tap. I don't know what Brody Hoare's doing here. Shaping to kick. They got enough players. You got half the field team is replacements. 2 of the other players are off. It always makes set piece challenging when you're throwing with a lot of players who haven't had a lot of time practicing together. So this could be interesting. Players learning line-out calls perhaps for the first time. And look at this. The bomb squad for Shepparton comes onto the field. 4 replacements all at the same moment. Final 2 minutes. Oh, here they go. They want their premiership ring.
Gives you that Springbok X-esque sort of style of bench. The bomb squad.
Salanga and Atu showing faith in their bench players to finish it off for them. Picked off at the front. Well done there. Vea Matahau. Oh, and what a kick that is.
Haymaker.
Yeah.
Not a bad one.
Straight down to Hoare. He fangs it across to the touchline. And they're going to have to run it from halfway if they're going to score. And they find Malu. He's been good today. Ratu Naibuka Malu. They work it into the middle. They're just outflanked, aren't they, on the left and right? Not that it matters. Jordan Ratawa, he won't stop trying. We'll have a knock on. And this is just going to soak another minute off the clock.
How about that kick?
Yeah.
What a kick. Look. Geelong are just throwing everything now, throwing the ball around. Man, if I was Shepparton, I'd be trying to calm the situation, slow it down, not playing this in their area, obviously. And we all know Geelong runs it a lot, so you'd want to kick it as far as you can down and let them do it from there.
So, going to be a couple of loose forwards short in this scrum, Geelong. And I know you want to let the ball sing to your backs, but I suppose a lot of teams often have plays up their sleeve when they have a back rower off the field. How do you typically play that when you're scrummaging against a 6 or 7 man pack?
Well, it depends. If your forwards are dominant without 8 men, you'd go for them, but usually you'd bring a winger in or one of your big backs in. So particularly you'd think you'd bring a back in because of how dominant Shepparton's scrum is.
Haven't done that, have they? They've just kept it just 6 in the forwards in the scrum for Geelong. Anyway, they still want to run it.
Oh, what do we know?
The 6-man scrum
paid off.
Outfoxes the 8-man pack of Shepparton. Well, their scrum coach, give that man a raise.
They'd be frothing at that.
Yeah. So, a few replacements. Nico Kata is out there. We touched on Alo Polo for Shep. Who else? Quick throw, chance now for Geelong. Show and go, crouching up in the middle. My eye, this guy hasn't stopped all day. He can hold his head high. They go back down the short side, trying to catch him napping. Hello, Sam Kennedy. Needs to release. Coughs it up, though. And Shepparton have a glimpse at the clock. They've got the champagne on ice. I just hope they've packed enough booze for the bus ride home.
Jared, I think it won't be booze. I've got a feeling this team will be drinking a lot of Carver tonight.
Carver, of course.
That brown label, as they say back home. There'll be a lot of that. There's actually a lot of that around the field today, actually.
I'm told as well, reliably informed, all travelling sides, when they say best clubhouse meal, Shepparton put on the best feed. So
we've got to get out there next year sometime.
Yeah. Rugby Vic put us up. Best Western, Shepparton. So that kick will find touch. And you can see on the far side of the field, the crowd starting to grow. Remember, folks, we've still got one more game to call after this. It is the Velo Jewish Shield first grade game between Powerhouse and Footscray. Powerhouse have claimed the left side of the hill. If you're watching at home, a lot of green and black jerseys already out in full force. Footscray, they're watching some of the games behind us, so they'll feel the hill when that game concludes in about 25 minutes or so. Geelong have to take the quick tap and go. They fang it out to Garrett Mai. Early ball to the edge, trying to create something here for Ratu Naibuka Mulu. Malu bumps one, swats a second, brought down. Nicholas, first receiver. Stays on his feet. Good carry this from the replacement. Around the corner they come. They race up quickly, trying to put pressure on Fa'aosol. And Big Jeff coughs it up. Shep come away with it. Looks like there's an injured player down in back play as well. Junior Lumia might be coming off a little bit hurt. Putting it on the shoe now. Vaya Na'u. What a decent kick that was, but he's put a little bit too much spice on it because it's gone out on the full. And here you go. It must be one of the best feelings, Namani. Leading in a grand final, knowing you can't be caught, and just being able to savour it.
Oh, 100%. And these opportunities don't come often. A lot of these guys be their first, might be their fifth, but You don't really win the big dance every now and again. So you can see how happy they are on the sideline. I think they're ready to run on the field, just waiting for ref to call the full time. Oh,
Malu, early ball for him, coughs it up. Chance if they can get rid of it, Shepparton. They can't. McLaughlin glances at her Rolex. Tick, tick, tick. Still time for one more. Good point, Nebs. Far side of the field, it always tells the tale, doesn't it? When you look at the two benches,
Yep.
Geelong all sitting down. That defeated look, and to a man, everyone in the Shepparton entourage standing up tall and proud, knowing they've got their families watching online, cheering them on from all around the world, and they can be so proud of what they've achieved. And we touched on it earlier, such an eclectic mix of players representing the green and blue of Shepparton. For many of them, they might not be back in Australia at this time next year, so this could be their only season with the club. But they'll hold fond memories of their time in Victoria if they can walk away today with the silverware. Preston tries to pick up the tempo, fangs it to the left. Proctor's been great since moving into ball playing. Space on the left edge, racing away Geelong, trying to score with 13 men and doing it. What heart showed from the Rams. 2 men down, and they're still bringing in the razzle-dazzle.
what a try. Just putting it, all it was simple hands through the through the back line, and that's it.
That is it. They might have scored the last try, Geelong, but in 2024, your Premiership champions of Victorian rugby are the Shepparton Bulls. Well done to Shepparton. You can see what it means to them as their bench swarms the fields. And 2 buses full of supporters come down here today. Such a remarkable story for a club which, every week travelling 3, 4, 5 hours collectively over the space of a Saturday just so they can put a team out on the field. It's one of the most beautiful sights to see them finally rewarded for their contribution to rugby here in Victoria with a premiership.
And you can see with the emotions, they've all just fell to the ground after the final whistle. That's how much it means to them. A lot of these guys haven't seen their families in 3 years, and like you said, a lot of them are going to leave and won't be here next season. So, if this is a memory that they're going to take away, then how good is it to be to make them, to make their supporters proud? Like you said, 2 busloads came down. You can imagine it's not a short bus ride. So, but commiserations to Geelong. I thought they played really well. I thought they held their own. Those yellow cards probably cost them in the end there. Yeah. But, you've got to take your hat off to Geelong. Well, as you said, during the whole round robin, Geelong played really well and led at times. But, that's finals footy, mate. You can't win them all. And congratulations to the Shepparton lads.
Well, that brings to a conclusion the second of our 3 blockbuster matches on Field 1 here at Box Hill Rugby Club here on Grand Final Day. There's just one left to play, and that is the big one, the Velo Jewish Shield of 2024, where for the first time in 12 years, there's going to be a new champion. It's not going to be Harlequins. It's not going to be the Melbourne Unicorns. It's going to be left to someone else to raise the standard of rugby in this state. It is Powerhouse taking on Footscray, and Footscray chasing their first title in almost a century, Nems. And as someone who played Jewish Shield this year and tackled both of these 2 sides, I know we've only got 2 or 3 minutes to chat before we take a break, but how do you see the grand final going in the Jewish Shield?
Oh, it could go both ways. Footscray, they've got some big boppers. They play a physical type game, whereas Power, they've got that. They play the technical game. Look, it's going to be an interesting game. 2 completely different teams and how they play, but it's going to be an interesting one. I think, if you play the physical game, it might suit Footscray, but if they play to that technical kicking game, which probably suits the team that kicks a lot in today's game, will win this. But it's going to be a great finals. I'm looking forward to it, and I can't put my money on any of them because, like I said, they're 2 great teams. They deservedly need to, happy to be here.
20 minutes away from the Velo Jewish Shield Grand Final. That's a wrap for the Premiership in 2024. It is the Shepparton Bulls taking the trophy to the countryside. Congratulations to them and their supporters and all of their fans watching around the world. We're going to take a short break and we'll be back very shortly for the Velo Jewish Shield Grand Final of 2024.